Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, teacher Song.
Hi, good evening. What a week. Our head teacher is here. He is 87 years old. So when he's here, there tend to be a lot of people, wanting to meet with him. So we have to juggle with a lot of last-minute arrangement. That's where my disgrace comes in. Because it's like, sometimes it's not like what you plan, You could plan 80%, and then the 20% that wasn't planned could topple the 80% that you planned. So it is very important that we stick to every single piece of rule that we learn from disgrace. Like for instance, everybody will think he or she is right? We all think we are right. Do you ever think that you are wrong? Yeah? Maybe when you are cool, when you cool down, then only you think you are wrong. But when you were really upset, nobody thinks he or she is wrong. That's when argument can arise. Okay? So it is important that when we are very, very kind of angry or feel that people misunderstood us, we should just cool down. Now, I'm just going to share with you, okay? I was asked to make a table, a massage table for the teacher, okay? In less than 4 days' time. And the other side was experimenting with the table, so they weren't sure about the height, the width, or the length of the table. And they gave us all kinds of measurements. Right? Now they somehow thought that making a table is like kneading a dough of bread, Like you can make it like longer or shorter, but a piece of wood is a piece of wood. Once you cut it, you cannot redo it. So they were all panicky because they were experimenting with the height, with the size, and so on. And meanwhile, they said, the teacher is coming, you have to make the table. And one of them got very, very excited, and he kept on saying, "No, what's so difficult about it? Just make a table and put a hole in it." And that will be the massage table, okay? Make a table, and then drill a hole at the top, and that will be your massage table. Now, isn't that easy? That's very easy, isn't it? Now, any carpenter here? So I told the Shifu also, I say, Shifu, they say it's very simple. You just make a table and just drill a hole in the front. That's it. She said, Teacher Song, it's not that easy. It's 210 centimeters long, It's a very long table, and it cannot withstand with 4 legs. Has to have 6 legs. And I said, no, they say 6 legs don't look good. But he said, no. 4 legs cannot stand the weight. Must have 6 legs. Now, I was rushing for time, and the other side was like really not talking, but more like, yelling and kind of barking. Now, I could keep on arguing with that person, how could you ask me to make such a table in such a short time? There's no way I could do it. I could say things like that, right? Instead, I remember something. 父母责，须顺承. When our parents reproach us, scold us, we should just Just listen. Okay, just listen and go along with it. Because if I talk back at that time, that person will get even angrier. Because she was already so angry, so mad. And she didn't even know the measurement. She didn't know how it was done. She just wanted to get it done. Now, there's nothing worse than than a person tell you, just get it done. How? I don't know. Just get it done. Have you met a boss like that? I don't know how it's going to be done, but you just get it done. In how long? Right now. That kind of tone, and her volume, oops, I let out the secret. That person's volume got higher and higher and higher, and she got madder and madder and madder. So I was like, suddenly these sentences, these phrases pops out. 父母责，须顺承. 听有过，见识更，怡无色，柔无声. I mean, if I ever thought that she was wrong, maybe when she was in a better mood, then I will talk to her, okay? So I remember these phrases, and I just kept on doing this. 是. You know, it was a bit difficult for me because I was a very arrogant person. My mom said, older Chinese, they like to do fortune telling for their children. I'm not sure about your parents, okay? So she went to a temple and saw the 三世書. That means they can check your what were you like, 3 lives before. 三世書. So she checked mine, and she found out that I was an officer. 我做官的。我這個官是怎麼做啊？他說，呢個官呢係企喺個黃河旁邊派錢俾窮人嘅。So I was an officer who gave money to the poor people beside the Yellow River. 我是在黃河旁邊派錢給窮人的一個官哦。我覺得還不錯。難怪啦，我這習氣哦，就是 I thought I could just command people, but I did not like to command people. Like I would always try to escape being chosen as a monitor. In fact, I would purposely being a very bad, monitor. But I don't know why year after year I was chosen as a class monitor. And then when there was something called the prefect, every year I was chosen as a prefect. And then I was even, we were transferred to another school because we passed the exam and we were good enough to enter the science stream. So we were transferred to another school, and without knowing all these people, all these teachers, they chose me as assistant head prefect. I was like, this is really strange. I didn't do anything. Why did they choose me, But every year I would try to evade my responsibilities. But it seems to be like fate has is that I must kind of like do jobs like that, okay? So I said, no wonder. So this 习气很容易的，是不是？海英，你做那个。海英 download this, this download. So I was that kind of person, and suddenly this 弟子规 is transforming me. It's transforming me. And asking me to do something, which I wasn't used to, and I didn't like it, and because I felt that it was like putting me down, because I felt that she wasn't reasonable. I was thinking all these thoughts came out, but this 弟子规 calmed me down. So I just 是. But of course, wasn't too willing now, because some of the 诗 sound like this. 是 知道. It wasn't very willing, but I was trying. Okay, I was trying. Then I heard her tone calm down. Her tone calm down. You see, 你不顶嘴you don't talk back, the other person will calm down. So it doesn't matter whether it's your boss, your spouse, or your teacher, or even your children. If they're really mad, if they're really barking at you, you cool down, because they will cool down. Because there's nothing they could do to reflect their anger. If you throw something at the wall, the harder you throw, the harder it will bounce back. But if you throw a ball on the cotton, a pile of cotton, a bed of cotton, it doesn't do anything. The ball cannot bounce back. Then it just boom, it just keep on just sucking in the energy of the ball. Okay? So I was like that. 是. Then 这样啊，你来做啊，是。If you don't 做啊，你不做我就怎么样啊。I was thinking, 你 okay 咯 if you don't want it, then I was thinking all this. So what? I thought if I don't do it, then you what? But all the time I was like, okay. Then she hanged up. She cooled down. She hanged up. I quickly called the secretary, because I know her secretary has the measurement. She must have. If she doesn't, she'll find out for me. So I say, hello, could you just find out for me? Okay. How long is the table? What's the width? What's the height? And send me the pictures. So we were doing things behind, behind the other person, okay, and we got this. And on the very same night, I called up somebody we knew very well, the carpenter. I said, you got to help me. And you got to help me because master needs the bed. As soon as he heard the master needs the bed, he flew over, to the center, and we started measuring, a sample bed, which they didn't like because it was too short. But anyway, we used that to measure it and so on and so forth. And he said, well, 开工的啦，是不是要做的？开工的啦。Now, do you still want to delete? Well, maybe wait, let me confirm with the other side. If I do that, I only have 3 days. Right? I said, 做了。So I make the decision. 做了。做的了，很贵的那个木，做了。So, and amazing. When you trust someone, professional, they will do a good job. I love dealing with professional. You just have to ask them to do something, tell them what you want, they know how to deliver it. Like same with us. For translation, we are the professional. You just tell me your audience, what do you want it for, how long you need it for. You leave the rest to us. Don't question us too much. Right? So for the other 3 days, I did not talk to them. Apparently, they set aside all the other jobs just to make this table. And they got it out. They said, I promise you, I will deliver it on the 19th. You know what? Sure enough, they delivered it. I was all the time, the only thing I could do was just pray. And I saw the table, and the only thing I could think of at that time was, thank you. Really, thank you. Because I saw their rough hands, the 2 Sifu came, and they have a team actually, only 2 deliver the tables. I saw their very rough hands. One of them saw me the blisters. The blisters is formed on his hand. And say, 哇，你看啊，做你一个桌子做到我都起泡啊！我说，哎呀，对不起，师父，对不起，谢谢你，非常谢谢你。So I could think I was really appreciative. You know what? Even the table has some flaws. Even not that it has, but should it have some flaws at that time, I wouldn't say a thing. Because I knew they had tried very hard. They had put aside all the jobs in the factory so that our head teacher, Professor Jing Kong, could have a massage bed. He's 88 years old. He has done so much for us. And he's 88 years old, but he's worried for our health. He came on telling the doctor, who they brought this time, he said, you must make sure the center's teachers are in good health, because they are the successors of traditional culture. You must make sure they are in good health. And I was like, really feel a little bit bad, because here is an 88 years old elderly looking at us, all the ages from 35 to 56, and he's at least 30 years older than us. Even to the oldest of us, he will still be 30 years older. And there he was, worried for us. Why? Because he wanted to prolong and extend traditional culture, which consists of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. So he wasn't thinking about himself. He was more thinking about, the next group of people who can carry the torch. He said, we got to save. We got to save China. We got to save the world. When we taught shared弟子规 with a group of English teachers, they teach English. And one of them was highly doubtful of these so-called theories of good moral teaching. Because he have seen, the fightings, the killings in his nation, where he came from. So he became an what you call atheist. That means he does not believe in God, because he saw all the killings. They were religious people. So maybe that's why he didn't believe in God. Okay? And he felt that all these things are hypocritical. All the Chinese traditional culture, if they are so good, why did the Chinese not use it? Like, why did the Chinese kill themselves? Why did the Chinese were so loud, so dirty, gamblers, cheaters? Okay? So, and this is what our teacher is worried. For all the good teachings that we had over thousands of years, we lost it in the last 100 years. So in the last 100 years, we saw many foreign troops went into China. Okay, they split up, some of the richest, territories in China, and China was facing, these armies from all over, and there was opium, the word of opium at that time, and almost all the good officers who wanted to get rid of all these opiums, like for instance Lin Zexu, who burned the opiums, okay, in a very scientific way, so that no smoke would come out, even though he did not enroll in any so-called science institute. Like they could just, by the theory that they learned from the ancient books, he could devise a mechanism that burned the opiums without the smoke. For good people, good officer like him, he was transferred to what today almost close to the Xinjiang. All these good officers, they were expelled. But did he ever complain? Did he blame the emperors? Did he blame his country? No, he did not. When he reached Xinjiang, he actually invented the Kan-er-jing, which is a kind of underground water system that helped the desert area to actually gather water. So instead of blaming, his circumstances, he could be a great officer, he could be a prime minister, near the palace, warding off all these enemies. He was expelled to the frontiers in very difficult conditions. Still, that time he was thinking about what? What can I do for the people? That is the spirit of the ancient Chinese scholars. 一个人读书不是为了赚钱，一个人读书是为了服务人民的。Is to serve the people. So that's what keep him going. So when the imperial government decided that actually he was one of the good officers, they summoned him to go back to the capital. Unfortunately, on the way back, I think he contracted diarrhea, and he passed away, on the road. So Chinese lost their confidence. Chinese lost their confidence in their own culture. They did not believe that the Chinese culture, the Chinese civilization, can help them to fight off, all these Western powers who have arms, cannons, the state-of-the-art arms. But you know what? Despite the fact that they are so ill-equipped, they fought. They fought to the best of their abilities. With what? With hardly anything. And I saw a movie. It was one of the officers fighting the Japanese armies. And when they wanted to fire the cannon, they found that somebody has changed the gunpowder into some other powder. It wasn't real, gunpowder. So they couldn't fire. They were being hit. So the national treasure was looted. They came in and they burned the garden, they burned the government palaces and so on, right? So, and the Chinese is like they're so helpless. One after another they came in Right? So whoever was trying to do something at that time using what we call the non-armed way were very difficult. So, and the opium was eating the soul away. There's nothing worse than if we have a generation of youngsters, okay, who do not have what? Ambition or mission in life. 如果一个孩子、一个年轻人没有意志力啊，我们是没有希望的。There's no more hope， 是吧？ There's no more hope. That's what computer games should be an issue that we study, an issue that we explore. Is that what our children is all about? Computer games? Does our child want to be a person who can what? Do something good for the world? Can our child say that, Mom, Dad, I want to grow up. I want to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, or even just a janitor who serve humanity, who serve people. Or they just tell you, Mom, I don't know what I want to do. So what is the best way to spend my life? Computer games. Other than my homework. Other than my homework. What else is there in my life? So then I asked this English teacher, I said, well, in life we can sit here and watch. And sit here and watch all these disasters going by in front of us. Or we can sit here and do something. And what can we do? We can start by understanding each other. You try to understand me, I try to understand you. And can we work based on certain principles that we can actually cooperate and work together? Don't ask other people, to do what was right. Ask ourselves, what should we do about what is right? By studying a lot of books, it's not a bad thing. But the more knowledge you have, the more you look at other people's fault, then you will become the kind of so-called readers. The more you read, actually the more critical you become others' fault. But if you read more and you realize how little you know and you become more humble, then you are doing the right reading. 为什么越读书会越骄傲？你没有看过孩子越读经越骄傲的？啊，我们有哦。one day the children may come to you and say, Mom, you don't know Chinese, ah? Huh? You don't know Chinese, ah? You didn't read the, what, 中庸啊？You see, you don't know, You see? And Mom, huh? 中庸你都不知道。See, that's when he becomes arrogant. Because he was what? Competition. Finally, I am better than my mom. I know something that she doesn't. I can up her on this one. But if he study and he look, 中庸, that means what? The middle way. 中庸说什么？中庸说我们做人要怎么样？要知道什么是对的，不能够偏的。他就不一样了，他会跟他妈妈说什么 ？Mom, I know you don't know Chinese. That's why now I explain to you. Don't worry, because you don't know, but I know. I explain to you. I'll tell you what it means. It says, it's very different from, 哎呦 Mom, you don't even know 中庸啊？哎呦 shame on you lah, embarrassing me lah. That's when the kids start to look at other people's fault. 你没做这个，你没做那个，他不是我没有做这个。Remember the old grandpa who said, rule number 84. You should do that. Rule 73. Lily, you should do that. Everybody else should do that except everybody should do that except him. Right? No, I say we should do something. We can do something. Okay, so let us do something. Don't just sit there and watch. Okay? That's what chapter 5 is all about. Loving all beings. Loving all equally. 泛爱众. Extending from a small family, we now extend it to, a bigger family. Extend this love and to everybody else. So if you open your book, it's page 17. Now this chapter, on this chapter, you will find that it's all about being considerate. Being considerate, do not harm others' feelings. Always, okay, make sure that we are discreet. We see the whole picture instead of putting blames on other people. So last week we stopped at 259 to 260. When someone is troubled, do not make things worse by talking unnecessarily. Now, this was also what was in my mind when I received the phone call, from the other side. I felt that he was already, that person was already so troubled, so I better not say anything to make it worse. Right? So I was just listening, and when she came, and when that person came, that person saw the bed, and they were very happy. And in fact, they asked me, how did you do it? I say, well, thank you for instruction, because you have done the previous experiments, which you all have done a lot of mistakes. So we actually reap the benefit by being, the last person to complete the job. Okay. So that person was very happy. So that person was happy, and they look at it, and right away on the same night when teacher arrived, they used it. And they were very, very satisfied and happy with it. Okay? So we do not need to really argue, okay, or disturb them when they are troubled. Right? And now 261 is that we should neither expose the shortcoming of others nor disclose their private matters. Okay? So that's the first one. We should neither expose the shortcoming of others. 人有短，切莫揭. Why is this important? 我们不是很喜欢讲人家的短处的吗？是吗？特别是孩子有没有？常都讲他们短处的嘛。人有短，切莫揭. We should not expose the shortcoming of others. Why is this important? Mrs. Kang, why is it important not to expose the shortcomings of others?
人都是要面子的。
人都是要面子的啊，人都要面子的嘛哈。为什么有面子呢？为什么人会有所谓的面子啊 ？OK， 我们有没有面子？有吗？哈，有没有面子？有吗 ？So you tell me what is your 面子？你的面子是什么？ Okay, don't look at each other, don't look at me, look at yourself. Mr. Lee? Mr. Xu? Don't want people to look down on us. Right? Don't want people to, you're pointing my faults, that means what? You're putting me down. And I don't want to be looked down. I want to be looked up. I don't want to put me down. 所以有一些面子，所以给点面子，就是不要 push that person down. 好 ，unless you are a cultivator of a very high philosophy of religion, because in that kind of cultivation, 他们是要破你的面子的。你的面子里面执着嘛 ，because you are attached to your so-called your face, your self-sense of worth. Okay? For instance, our head teacher, our guiding teacher, she has no qualms about this 面子。你骂他也好，你怎么也好，他心平平的。He's always calm. 因为这个面子是真的还是假的？ Is that true or is it illusionary? Mr. Ui, illusionary? Why is it illusionary?
It's human nature to protect themselves. They always put the mask on to make sure they have the either to survive or to fight. So they always it's for survival actually. It's
The self-centered protection, right? I want to protect myself. Okay, I want to well, this is my nature, because I don't want to lose. It's a very self-centered thing. But self-centered can go both ways. Okay, you can either help someone, or you can say you can be very selfish. But if you think of a way that said, okay, he criticized me. Let me look beyond this so-called pride and study what that person says. Instead of thinking, 哎呀，你不给面子我，这个是很难的哦。Now you think you have done a great job, right? For instance, I thought I did a great job today, by putting these name tags on the table, okay, during the lunch. And then the host came, and he just changed one, and I thought that change was quite good. And then after all the people were gone, he said to me, I really don't like the way you arranged the name tags. Next time, please, don't do that kind of things. I want it to be free-flowing. I don't want it to be run like a army camp. Now, okay, you are the person like me. How do you feel? You have been running around, and moreover, I felt that somebody else asked me to put them on the table. There's nothing worse than this excuse, Hey, you think I want to do this? Huh? Somebody else asked me to do this, This is the worst excuse for ourselves, isn't it? It's always somebody else, huh? So the conclusion would be, hey, why don't you go and scold that person? You shouldn't scold me, Right or not? I'm the innocent executor, don't blame me. That kind of feeling will come up. 面子嘛，是吗？ Hey, I'm what? I got dignity, Don't poke at my dignity, huh? So, and I look at the person and I said, yeah, no, that's true, huh? That's true. I should have asked you. I should ask you whether this arrangement is proper, and I shouldn't have just put it there and did not ask you. After all, you are the host. Yeah, I said you are right. But again, it's something that was very hard for me, but hey, once you get used to it, it's okay. You just have to get used to it. So if you do that enough for 3 months, you get used to it. So I'm getting used to it. At first, it was very hard. Because even though I say yes to this person, blah, 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 and when I turn around, I call somebody else, you know what that person said? That person said this. So now I cut that part down to the minimum. I still call somebody, but I stop saying, that person, blah, 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 okay? Because that wasn't sincere. That would be hypocritical. Okay? So once you get a hang of it, then you will find it very easy to accept other people's criticism, because they might be telling something truth. Okay, not all criticisms are bad, and not all criticisms are meant to hurt us. They are meant to tell, something that they thought we did wrong. And if we can see that person's intention and study what we did, and see how his advice or his admonitions or his scolding could help us to improve, we should accept it. Okay? Then if he really have accused us, okay, should we get mad? No, you don't need to get mad. Why should you get mad? Okay? If we get mad, we can't solve any problem. Okay? But we can solve a lot of problems by not getting mad. Okay? So if they ever accuse us, let it go through. Okay? If they don't respect us, let it go through, because respect is earned. Okay? It's earned. We have to work at it. Okay? Now, so that is ourselves. So we have to let go of this so-called the arrogance, the pride that we have. Okay? But for other people, we have to be a little bit more tactful. 严以律己，宽以待人. Okay, I'm going to use for your benefit. I'm going to use simplified Chinese. Okay? 严以律己，宽以待人。严 means very stern, okay, very firm. Okay? 律 means discipline. Okay? 己 means ourselves. So to ourselves, we are very stern with ourselves. We are very harsh with ourselves, very critical with ourselves. But to other people, 宽以待人. That is, for other people, 宽 means what? A little bit broader, a little bit more accommodating. For other people, what? 我们要宽一点，不要他们窄啊。Okay, people feel very uncomfortable when they are around us. Right? So one, this is for our own self. This is the way we treat other people. 宽以待人，对别人要 a little bit more forgiving. There's nothing more. There's nothing more harder, than living with a person who is very critical, isn't it? Every single thing you do, you'll be criticized. Would you like to live with somebody like that? Have you lived with somebody like that? Okay, we heard this mom sharing with us the other day. She said now that she has learned about traditional Chinese culture, she said, 我现在要控制自己. She did this. She said, 我现在要控制自己啊. Don't tell my husband, 这个杯你为什么要这样放？这个杯你要放在这里。他说 even the 杯啊 even where he put the glass, she must discipline him. And who is this person? Her husband. Not the children, the husband. I said, how do you live with this wife? Even the 杯啊 为什么这样放？不能这样放，要这样放。连你都不做好，孩子就跟着你哦。弟子规 again 连你不放好来，孩子就跟着你啊。So your husband eventually think, what is it 弟子规啊 Everything I do is wrong 弟子规 What is that Nothing I do is right What is 弟子规 So he may get very upset. So don't throw always 弟子规 for you to. You watch television you see you don't study 弟子规Then your children will follow you. So what is this 弟子规 So when you become too critical for others, okay, they find it very difficult to live with you or work with you. So especially at home. Home should be warm or cold, or should it be like a court? 好似法庭咁樣啦，就或者家庭好啲啊，法庭好就家庭好啊。只差一個字哦。一個是家庭，一個是法庭。你要家庭還是法庭？法庭 is like what? A court, a magistrate, a court. 家庭呢 is what? A family, a home. So what is a home? What is a court? So if we make our family into a court, then we are the what? We are the judge. A judge who looks like a teapot. You know what teapot like? Okay, a judge. I'm the judge, right? But if it's a home, then you are the what? You are the mom. And mom is what? More nurturing. About nurturing, right? When do you punish your kid? It's when he does things that is against, against like morality. That's when you have to be like spoken in very clear terms that that is not correct. And mom will not pamper you or spoil you. That is what we call the principle of training. But not everything about you being like a lawyer, and you find your children start talking like a lawyer, and you start suing each other. 你再这样 if you do this again, if you find at least my mom, they will do something make her mad. Then you if you do this again then I will after you will know. 等一下你就知道，等一下就忘记了啦。Always 等一下 after we will know what I don't know. So so yeah, don't keep on pointing. It should be a little bit warmer. A little bit more discussion, a little bit more understanding. At home, make it a home instead of like it's not a court where you try people. And there are 3 roles. One is Jun. You are the leader. You must show children the direction. So Jun, it's called Jun leader. Qing, let's say you're the parents. You have to be the nurturer. And Shi, by you give them, you teach, you instruct. Now, as a parents, when we teach, we don't just give them words. Remember 教. The parents and the teacher, mark a cross, and the child at the bottom, kneeling down, follow. Okay, 上所思，下所效. Okay. That is what? Teach by example. Okay. Now, not only the parents and the teacher teach by example. Here is a hand, like a hand, holding a cane, but supervising. Supervising the child. So it is called supervise. And this is, you need to have patience. This you need patience, perseverance. It's a lifelong endeavor. 教 Now, 不要教了，现在教很难啊，要有耐心，要身教。Why don't I just 管？两只竹子，下面一个官。这样啊，官啊，做官啊，管。Now, just by listening to the tone and the sound of this word, which one sound softer? 一个是教，一个是管。Right away, which one is more kind of a little bit hard? 管 or 教 我要管你，跟我要教你。Which one is harder? 管 isn't it? So, see the ancient character creator, they pick up the sound, they create the word, they tell us that 管是很什么？很强迫性的，要管你，是吗？管人是很累的，是吗？If you have to discipline all the time, you have to banish them all the time, you have to go behind them all the time, you get very tired. But 你教呢？你如果人是这样的，你孩子也会学到怎么样？你这样的啊。那天啊。I was trying to praise a kid he's very rambunctious. He likes sports, so I said, oh, that's very good. He should do the what we call the running. I said, yeah, you should do more running. And right away, the mother in front of us said, run, 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 run. What's so good about running? Run, 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 run. He got himself injured. Run, 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 run. And there we were teachers, trying to encourage the kid to be a little more involved. And then the mother said, run, 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 run. Yeah, the mother then said, 哎呀，我管不了他了，管不了他了。我就想，你怎么管得了他呢？是吗？ We are trying to say get him more involved, and there you are, run, 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 run. 哎，是不是？所以你看这个身教重要嘛？你看你一个大人这样讲话，父母这样讲话，他会不会学？他也一样的，他也 run 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 的。他跟人家讲话，周末你，他也是为什么？就是学到那个妈妈的 run 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 呢？不是 one run 哦，是 run 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 哦 ，run run 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 哎，再去管人就很累啊 ，very tired。不要去管了，像关这样2个口啊，对不对？1个口还不对。我常常说你看这个女孩子还没有结婚之前呢，她的声音很娇的，很细的，是吗？结了婚之后呢，你觉得你的声音比较大还是比较小？大了是不是？天天就做不做功课？然后你的先生呢，然后不冲凉，怎么不冲凉？他天天喊，就是。然后以前本来拿东西都好像拿不起的为了抱孩子抱自己哇吐，那这是以前那种这么娇小玲珑的，怎么结了婚你的孩子变成这样子So 你为什么？因为你要管2个口来管他，不要管他，教他 ，teach by example and supervise them. Be patient, okay? And this patient thing, and we have to work, the teacher and the parents, we have to work together. So when you hear us say something like that to your child, you should say, "But 是啊，要听老师的话吗？对不对？是听老师吗？你用我这边 run， 我就没有办法了。No， 他还是很好的，没有啦，一点都不好。哎呀，我就已经很努力的在教你孩子，你说他一点都不好，然后我就看着他，我就不好了，然后就这样态度咯。OK，so 身教耐心，做他的 leader，give him a sense of direction. Don't be like your kid is tucking your shirt and said, "Dad, where are we going?" And you say, "I don't know." I don't know where we're going. 我也不知道去哪里啊。那你带我去哪里 ？I don't know. 你不可以的，你要带着他去一个方向啊。Let him have a sense of direction for his life. And 亲 you are the parents. When he's sick, when he's troubled, or when she's troubled, your child is troubled. That's the time they need you, not to scold them, not to reason things out for them. Just being beside them. Just being standing beside them or sitting beside them. Keep them calm. We don't need to say a lot of things actually. Sometimes the more we say, the more actually the worse it becomes. Remember, I was in this class and there was a teacher in training came back from an examination and he didn't look too lit up. So his colleagues were trying to encourage him. Okay? He said, And he came in, they looked at him, and they didn't ask why, and they keep saying things like this. 没关系的，考不好也没关系的。怎么样，很差吗？很差，是不是？没关系的，很 OK 啦。Actually, he wasn't feeling that down until they kept saying this. Because the result wasn't out yet. But he just wasn't sure whether he did well or not. But all the colleagues, the ladies were very kind to him. Kept saying, 你不要担心啊，没关系的，来了，要不要喝杯水啊？没关系的，考不好没关系的。And you're like, oh, it's true 啊，maybe I didn't do too well 啊。哎呀 ，so 人不闲，勿事搅；人不安，勿哈扰嘛。就是他 ，Hey, you look good. You must have done great. Maybe he said, well, not so great. Oh, really? How did you do? They actually asked them the actual question. Ask them really from the point of you really want to understand. Not keep on, 哎呀，我还是安慰他一点啊，你都还没有搞清楚嘛啊。It's like I was into one lecture, and I was new, and I was quite cool about it until everybody else, my colleagues, asked me, 你紧张吗？你不要紧张哦。没关系的，你不要看到这么多人，没关系的，你当他不在哦。啊，你不要紧张啊，我们在下面呢，跟你打气哦。我本来不紧张的，我跟他们讲了我很紧张。I was quite cool about it. 真的是你不紧张哈，我们在那边，我们会这样的。No, thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, so yeah, but we appreciate people, for being nice and yeah, but know your moderation. Okay. So 严以要律己宽以要待人，不要整天去挖别人的什么伤口。You see, a wound cut by caused by a knife is easy to heal, but words will cut like they never will heal. 我们的话是很伤人的。而这个伤是无形的，那才可怕。它这个疤痕这个 scar 是不容易 heal 的，所以话有时候不是有时候话要很小心所以这里说什么 ？We should not expose the shortcoming of others. Moreover, it could be our prejudice. Maybe we didn't understand enough. Okay, so don't expose our shortcoming, especially in front of so many people. And remember. I was with this Malaysian association in our university, and our president at that time did something not right. So he wasn't really doing his duty because he wasn't sure about the situation. So right in front of, there were a lot of people trying to kind of like really nail him. So I said, oh, that's because he wasn't sure. He didn't know all the facts. So that's why he made the poor decision. But if he had all the facts, he would have made a better decision. So all the people then calmed down, and he was continued as president. And I found that after that, he was really appreciative of me, because I wasn't like everybody else, trying to expose his weaknesses and trying to pin him down in the public. So I earned a friend. And I wasn't saying something that to kind of like be obitous, to try to please him, and because I know that he was good, except that for that instance, for that case, he didn't get all the facts right. It's very important when you report to your boss, you give him all the facts, because he may make the wrong decision based on inadequate facts. 所以你要报告给老板报告得很清楚because he will base his decision based on your facts. Now, 263 to 264, nor disclose their private matters. 人有短，切莫揭；人有私，切莫说。Why do people tell you their private matters? Yes, because they trust you. So you should not breach the trust. Okay? And if ever anybody tells you, hey, please, I only tell you, please do not tell other people. Then you go home and you tell your wife this, and tell your wife, now I only tell you because I trust you, please don't ever tell anybody. And your wife will go and tell her best friend, I only tell you this, don't ever tell anybody. 有没有做过这样的事情？ 有哈，是吗？我只告诉你，我跟你讲啊，你如果讲出来，我永远都不会原谅你啊。Okay. Then you go and tell somebody else. You even curse that person worse. 我跟你讲啊，我不但是永远不要跟你讲话，永远不要见到你啊。OK. 然后他又去讲，你啊，如果你讲出来，我怎么，that goes worse and worse and worse. But the words will spread out. So people expose their private matters to you because they trust you. So you should not disclose their private matters. OK， 这是一种尊重哈，要爱别人啊，尊重。Now, 265 to 268, it is good to praise the virtuous actions of others. Always good to praise. And do a lot of praises. But we are a little bit stingy about our praise. We should praise more. Even though a little bit of, you feel that it's a little bit improvement or a little bit of good things, however little bit it is, praise them. And don't always put them down. Knowing that they are being praised, people will be encouraged to do better. And gossiping about the wrongdoings of others is in itself wrong. Right? 比如说gossiping about the wrongdoings of others is in itself wrong. When we slander another excessively, we too will suffer harm and great misfortune. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting phrase, though. 道人恶，即是恶，即之甚，或且作。Why is that so? Mr. Lee, how could that be? I mean, how could I, when I slander another person or when I expose another person's evilness too excessively, we too will suffer harm and great misfortune. 道人善，即是善嘛，人之日欲思勉；扬人恶，即是恶，即之甚，或且作。
Because when we talk about a bad thing of another person, first thing, that person will get angry with us. If he's not a good-tempered person, we will get into troubles. Second thing, when we spread this thing out, maybe we will be dragged in also to be considered one and part and parcel of this bad thing, being mistaken by other people. So we land ourselves also in unnecessary troubles and explanation.
Okay. I'm not sure about the second thing you mentioned. Why were you dragged into it? How can we drag into it?
For example, if somebody's done something which is bad,
For example?
Let's say that person do some cheating case, and you go and spread it around. Then the person who heard it may thought, how can you know about this? You must be somehow or rather must be involved in that incident. Otherwise, you shouldn't be no such thing you have done. So in that way, you also, if the person who heard it don't really know you and trust you, may drag you in, consider you also part and parcel, and you split it out probably due to some other reasons which you are not happy. Then you will land yourself into unnecessarily being mistaken as a part and parcel of the case.
That means if you are spreading something evil, and how do you know about the evil act? You could be part of it. That's why you don't spread it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first one was that it could harm you,
Yeah.
because that person could turn around and harm you.
Harm you.
All right? Okay. All right, Lina.
Okay, I think that if you expose other people's wrongdoings, and the other people will think that, so what? So what? Maybe I was a bad person, so I will do even more evil things to show that I was an evil person, so what? And then if you didn't expose his wrongdoings, and he know that you know, but you didn't say, maybe he will think that you give him the chance to correct his mistakes. And next time he will not, when he want to do some evil things, and he will think that maybe I will not do that because the other people give me the chance. I should appreciate that. Yeah. And also, if you expose other people's wrongdoings, and the third person, the other people will hurt it, and the other people will have a very bad expression of the person you have said, and maybe before you have spoken these kinds of things, they do not have a bad expression, or they still may think that is a good person. So after you heard, you are worse. So when some people has a bad expression, and with some others, they will change their attitude. Sometimes they will change their attitude. Maybe they will mistaken the other person. And also, we do not know whether he did this wrong thing is really true or not, or based some reason that we do not know. So we should really consider the person who do the wrong things and think for him the reasons why he did this. And then we try to guide them, not expose his mistakes.
Okay, that's more of do not expose mistakes of the wrongdoings of others. Okay, and if the slander is too excessive, we too will be harmed. Okay. Now I want you to see from another angle. Which will pretty much sum up what both teachers have said. Nian means all the intentions, the thoughts that I have, every single thought I have, every intention that I have, I do it for other people. 所以念念為別人，我嘅每一個念頭啊，都係為別人嘅，唔係為我自己嘅。Okay. 我今日 expose 佢嘅缺點係為咩呢？今天我把他的缺點指出來，我是為了什麼？ What is the purpose of exposing somebody's wrongdoings? What is the purpose of me actually exposing so excessively that that person could not stand, alone anymore, but come back and fight back? What is the intention? What is the purpose of doing that? What Mr. Lee was saying that when we push people enough to the corner, that person will fight back, right? And what Lina was saying is that maybe, we should think about what happened, what caused him or her to do that, to make those mistakes, instead of just exposing, because whatever we say will affect other people, and other people, because they have a bad impression of this person, without investigating truth, they will also what? Accuse that person. And when enough person accuses this what was so-called the bad person, that is the attitude, most people will take this attitude, one, okay fine, I'm already a rotten egg, I might as well be one. Since all of you think I'm like that, so I behave like that. And the second attitude is that, okay, if you all think I'm so bad, well, I will teach you. I will teach you how bad I can be. Because none of you like me anyway, so why should I like you? So we invoke revenge. 急之胜或且做. Okay, invoke revenge. Invoke negativity. Okay, 因为你把他逼到去墙壁了，他没地方好转了。所以念念为别人的时候 if every thought that we have is about seeing, further and deeper about this person. Why is he has become, okay, why did he steal? Okay, why did he hit people? In Liao Fan's 4 lesson, I believe there is a case whereby a prisoner was, beaten very badly by the magistrate, and this officer actually knelt down and begged the magistrate, to kind of soften up the punishment a little bit. And he said this. He said, those on the top have not taught the people for a long time. If you know what happened to them, you would not have imposed such a harsh punishment on them. If you can understand what made them, committed the crimes, maybe you would not punish them that much. So 因为你没有教他们，你没有教这些人民，你只是罚他，你没有好好教他。上师提到是吗？就是你们没有教好人民，你只是罚他，是吧？罚他，其实他呢是不会改的，他会越来越讨厌你，越来越恨你啊。所以念念为别人的时候呢就不一样了。Because every thought, even punishment that I make or that I do, can I teach that person a lesson that can actually help him to grow? And I'm sure at my age and those above 40s, I'm sure we got hit by our parents. But do we hate our parents? We never. We never ever occur to us that we will hate our parents or we will do something bad to them. Or we'll do something bad to ourselves. 我们不会这样想的。妈妈、爸爸怎么打、怎么骂，还是觉得爸爸妈妈好的。现在呢，打呀、骂啊，这个孩子会跟你怎么做敌人的？为什么我们那一代可以，那现下代不可以？我们上一代他做得到哦，他真的很勤力、很用功的在养育我们。So we could see it, the way they set the example. So 打我们是为了什么？要教我们啊，是吗？打我们要喝我们吗？ Most of our parents were not like that. Most lah, maybe there were some exceptions, but most of us, it's because what 我们去偷人家的东西啊，然后特别是偷哦，哇，一偷打得很厉害的。其他孩子 spank 一下了，哇，如果是偷啊。很严重的，真的，我哥哥他们都会啪，爸爸打得很严重的偷，所以从小要偷啊，心里很难过啊。哎 ，It's like you know those little kitchen toys, they're miniature kitchen, miniature pot, miniature plate, 小小个的哦。Then there was an old lady who sell this thing in front of our shop. Somebody taught me, they say, okay lah, we talk to her, then you go and sneak one packet inside your inside your dress, she won't know. So I said, oh really? Okay. So these elder children were talking to her, and then I was sitting on the side, and I really sneak one pack into my dress, and I went home. I look at this, I got this for free. I was very happy. But just as I wanted to open the package, I suddenly thought about my father. 哎呀，爸爸说不可以偷啊，爸说不可以偷啊，偷不好哦。Then I thought about the old lady 啦 I said 哎呦这样老了哦，全部都白头发，一个老人家在那边卖这些小东西，我还去偷他的东西啊。The next day, I also sat there. Just when she talked to other people, I just stick it back, put it back. I didn't even open it. That's the impact of, education. 他很清楚的知道说偷是不可以的，所以偷啊，打得很厉害。第二个讲粗话 ，vulgar language， 粗话呢就比偷还好一点，不过呢也是打的，不是打了就什么，你呢啊？你刚才讲什么？你要不要这样？Don't want that. but my dad likes this. Ding. So, but I remember this stealing. That is the serious punishment we can get is stealing. And yet I learned, I learned, 不可以偷啊，不要开玩笑啊，这个偷是很严重的。一看到我们打得很厉害的，一定是偷，没有其他的。读书反正我一拿起书来就 OK 了。That's the best way to calm my mom down. And my mom ever chased us, because we forgot to go home. That was evening. We must go home. I believe at 5 o'clock or something. After 6 o'clock, when the sun went down, we must go home. So one day I was playing with my little brothers, and we forgot to go home. My mom, like the nice mom who raised their voice over the years, 你们还不回家这样。We heard her screaming on the other side of the street. I took both of them, ran back home on the other side of the street. And we went home and we quickly, 喂，快点攞書出嚟啊！ Actually, my book was upside down. But my mom was illiterate. She didn't know. See? And I was happy about it. I was like, if we are sincere in what we are dropping. And then she came up to the stairs. She didn't say anything. She just like knocking very approvingly. You see, it's very easy with my mom. We study, she's happy. But I always felt that cheating her, so. No matter how grumpy my mom was, nagging my mom, I was thinking, 哎呀，不要骗我妈，我被骗。So that guilty conscience kept on in my back. So don't worry if your children ever cheat you, 他的良心会发现所以不要scold 啊，读。So my mom, yeah. 所以这个punishment 的这个东西is if you really want to make a statement about the immoral things that you don't want them to do, right? And running away school is very, very serious punishment too. Disrespectful of teachers, yes, will get punishment. Okay? So we know we must respect teachers, we must respect the elderlies, we must not steal. We must not speak very vulgar language. Okay, all these things are very clear to us. Right? And any other things, they can kind of like put up with us. Okay, slowly, a little bit, they can be a little bit more patient, but not those very principal things. Because stealing can lead to what? Can lead to theft. Okay, if you steal little things at home, you can steal bigger things when you get what? If you have more power to do that. Okay, that is something that my dad did not want us to grow up to. He's a thief. I mean, you can call me anything, but you call me a thief, I will stand up and 你再讲. Don't ever call me that, So it's kind of the dignity. You don't want to be called a thief, to steal things, right? So don't expose other people's, wrongdoings, too much, with the intention of hurting that person. We'll only hurt ourselves. Can we help that person? Okay, can we help them to see that what they do is wrong? I think there is something that we could do about it. Any question? Yes, you got a question? No? Okay. So 273, 274, that by mutually encouraging one another to do good, both of us will improve on our character. We can encourage each other to do good. 善相劝，得借鉴. By not advising one another to correct our respective faults, our characters will diminish. Okay? 所以找朋友或者家属要常常怎么样互相的劝。要互相的劝。That means 家属 family members 家属The family members or your friends always encourage each other to improve on ourselves. But you say, but he's my good friend. if I tell him about his mistakes, he may not like me. Right? So would you tell or you not tell? You tell him or her the problem with them, they won't listen, and in fact, you are so afraid that you will lose them, so you try not to tell them. Okay? Now, is it right or is it not right? Right and wrong at the same time. When is it right?
It's right is when you tell the person the truth, but it's wrong if the person take it too hard and cut off the relationship.
Yes. Only say things that that person can accept. You can still, point out the fault, but the language you use, the strength that you use, have to what? Have to be acceptable by that person. Because some people just cannot accept it at certain time. So you must know the strength. But do you still say it? Yes, you would. You should. Accept the strength and the frequency you have to judge. Okay, because if you don't say it, that person will come back and blame you. How come you never told me? There was this mother who spoiled her son. She would let her son steal and do all kinds of wrong things, and she loved her son, and she thought her son would never do anything wrong. So one day her son got into a big trouble, by doing a big robbery, and he was imprisoned. And when she went to visit her son, the first thing his son said to his mother was, "How come you never told me this is wrong? How come you never told me stealing was wrong? I hate you." The mother said, "I love you. I never scolded you for anything. I'm the most loving mother in the world." "No, you never told me this was wrong. I am here because of you." See? So they could turn around and actually what? Blame you for it. So you still have to say it. But it's just the way you say it, you have to see whether that person can accept it and to what degree that person can accept it. You don't want to cease the relationship. Okay, if he can accept, only just a mild mention, then you mildly mention it. But if he or she can really accept the truth, then you tell them the truth. Okay, but you still have to actually mention it to that person. Otherwise, you say he really will blame you. 这么你从来没有跟我讲的。And of course, I forgot which movie that was. This was a great conversation between the main characters. 那女的跟男的说：“你为什么从来没跟我讲？”那个男的跟她说：“你会听吗？” How come you never told me that? He said, "If I have told you that, would you have listened?" 是吗？对啊，你看严于律己，宽以待人嘛。我告诉你，你会听吗？你不会听啊，是吗？所以人家要advise 我们的时候呢，不要先生气哈，要先什么？听一听。也许呢 he has something valid. Yes, Mrs. Shi or Mrs. Shi. Yes, you want to share something with us? Oh? Okay. So 277. When giving and receiving, we should be clear in what we are doing. It's better to give more and receive less. They always be positive. Always good to give more and receive less. And more, I find that the way we talk is really negative and depressing. So we can change a bit of that. Now today, after the event was over, we were on one of the floors, and my colleague and I did not carry the key, okay, because we loaned it to somebody, and I left mine in the office. So he picked up the phone and he called another colleague. He said, "Hello, so and so, we are stuck on this floor. We are stuck on this floor, and we can't get out. Can you go to where, get the key, and come out okay, and opened the gate, something like that, okay? Now, how do you find that statement? Nothing wrong, right? We are stuck, okay? Now, can we say it without saying we are stuck? We can just say what? We are on this floor, but we don't have keys. Can you bring up the keys? Can, right? Do you have to say we are stuck? 我们好像什么？我们被关在这里啊！我们被关在这里，没有门出。你看这很严重是吗？我们被关在这里，没有门出。可不可以说，哎，你可不可以拿个锁匙上来帮我们开门？这样感觉好不好？这感觉比较好嘛，对吗？你能不能帮个忙，拿个锁匙帮我们开门？那如果他说为什么我们没有带锁匙，他就会拿锁匙嘛，而且去哪里买锁匙？第一句就是 We are stuck here, cannot go out。哇，很严重啊！对方立刻就怎么样？会 worries, right? So don't get people worried. Don't say stuck. We're not stuck. We will still stand. You know what is stuck? 你知道什么叫 stuck 吗 ？Stuck 是这样子的 ，I can't go anywhere. That is called stuck. 这叫做 stuck 嘛？那我们当时还可以走来走去啊，还可以脚啊，就只能走远一点，还可以下去的。We're not stuck, not that bad, right? 所以有时候我们讲话要怎么样 ？More considerate, right? And like when you see two people are already not in a very cordial relationship, 我们讲话有分寸哦。That means we must know how to speak. So we don't have to add in things like, you know what? I think he doesn't trust you. We don't need to say things like that. We just say, oh, it's better that he loves to hear from you. Okay, because two of them want me to be the middleman. Okay, they wouldn't talk to each other. Okay, they just wouldn't talk to each other. So A wants me to pass to B, B wants me to pass to A. I find that nowadays I'm doing this sort of thing. Okay, 我开始变成和事佬了啊，不错啊 ，my new job. So you know what I do? I call B up and say, hey, you know what? A loves to hear from you. A hasn't heard from you for a long time, and he said he would love to hear from you. And B said, oh, really? Yeah, really? And then I went to A and said, hey, you know what? B said he hasn't talked to you for a long time. If he calls you, I'm sure you'll be delighted to hear from him. I mean, you like to call him too, So now, is this lie? Is this what you call white lie? 善意的谎言吗？这是谎言吗？不一定啊。你知道为什么？他真的很想听那个人讲话，可是怎么样？面子啊 ，That person should call me first。不是不想听哦，是怎么样 ？That person should call me first。So I help them to say it but not quite they say it, but I help them to say it. Okay? 所以你不要讲我讲谎话，我是代表他们讲他们心里的话，可是却不要做这个什么 ，make the first move, right? So you can be that bridge too, especially between brothers and sisters. 你们 brothers and sisters 是不是啊？有时候啊，这个不要跟那个讲话，那个不要跟讲话是吗？哎，你们两个人要吃饭吗？大哥你有去吗？有啊，那我不要去。因为 sometimes it gets to this kind of like situation, right? So 我们怎么和事佬啦？是吗 ？So we say something, they say actually, he has praised you before, because you know what? I don't ever think that we only have criticism towards anybody, or only have praises towards anybody. It has to be mixed, right? Sometimes you praise, sometimes you criticize, right? Except when you praise but criticize more than you praise, you feel that what? He will feel that you criticize him too much. Right? It's not that you've never praised that person. It's just the frequency of criticizing is more than the frequency of praising. That's all. Right? So what I do was Actually, what I do would be, I pick up all the praises that you make and exaggerate it. I did not create anything. I just put it back. Now, you know what? You know, she has said, you know, like how many years ago that you are such a wonderful person. That person has forgotten that. That person actually forgotten that, you know, the other person has praised him before. And I remember the things that he praised about her, so I told her, you know what, he said, you know, you were such a wonderful person, you know, when you first met each other. So I bring it all back, instead of thinking about what? You know what, he didn't take up the toilet cover. All these things can lead to scolding, you know, I don't know why. Is it true? Like, die. It's true, you know, it happened to my friend. She said, you know what, I never liked the toilet cover, you know, the being put up, okay? And he always liked to cover the toilet bowl. So I always like to cover the toilet bowl, but he likes to uncover the toilet bowl. Because of this cover and then cover and cover, they could scold each other, argue each other. And he likes to put the toothpaste cap back on the toothpaste, but she did not like to put the toothpaste cap back on the toothpaste. And they argue. You do that too? You know, it's like little things like that, you know, and she likes to put back all the hand towels nicely back to where they are. 置冠夫有定位, but he never. So, 做嘛你这样做嘛你这样做. So they will always argue about, you know, these little things like here and there, okay? But by the time I knew it was too late. It was too late. They eventually got divorced, which I thought was a bit pity because their kid was really cute, you know. So don't be a 和事佬, okay? Always try them, let them see the good of each other. Don't go and see. 你看结婚前呢，看到都是好的，对吗？对。结婚后呢，看到他都是缺点。结婚前看的是优点，结婚后的看的是这缺点，是吗？你调转了一下嘛，对不对？结婚前你要看多一点缺点，你才不会 make the wrong decision, right？ 你结婚后呢？哎呀，不要看那么多缺点呐，看多一点优点呐，好不好？看多一点优点嘛，那两个就不一直吵闹闹嘛。So, giving and receiving, you know, we should give more. Okay? We should give more, and receive less. It's okay, you know. We give more. If you want somebody to call you, why don't you call him or her? If you want somebody nice to you, why don't you be nice to them first? To be the initiator, make the first move. Okay, so we stay positive. Okay, erase all the unnecessary words. 话说多不如少，唯其是勿宁巧. Then all will be living happily ever after. Okay. Now I know a lot of you are interested in the English course. I think my colleagues have explained to you about them. It's a 7-day course, and as long as we have seats at the back, you're welcome to sit in, and you can sit in the whole session. Okay? We discourage people from going in and out. So if you have decided which class you want to come in, you're welcome to sit at the back. The whiteboard you see at the back are for this booth, the temporary booth we make for simultaneous interpretation. Because we have invited Mr. Chai to come and talk to us for 1 hour. He'll speak in Chinese, and I will do the simultaneous interpretation at the back, using English. And we have one class that has a relationship between husband and wife, one class about how to apply discipline in corporations. We have movie viewings where we show 2 movies and everybody share, what did they see and what did they learn from the movies. And we will go through the whole 7 chapters, okay, in 7 days. We also have the moral Chinese stories given by our your MC for every Thursday night, Miss Lina. And we have folk customs, folks' beliefs by Mr. Lee. He will explain to us why the Chinese New Year we have these kind of customs, why on the tomb sweeping days we have this kind of customs. We also have paper folding by Robin. Some really great looking boxes and animals that you can do with papers. And we have calligraphy. Okay, calligraphy is a very Chinese form of art form, and also very practical form of writing. Right? And we have mental attitude, how to stay positive, because we are very negative, frankly. We must get back the positivity, within us. So we have 2 classes on that one. And we have some group dynamics where we try to see the positive things about the other person. And lots of group discussions, lots of class discussions, and it would be great if you can come, but do tell them, and so that we can reserve the seats. Okay. So thank you very much. We'll see you the week after. Okay. Thank you very much.